Kahalo Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of Rowell. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to sincere brothers and sisters doing this, wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. Excuse me, I got a couple TikToks. We gonna get some precepts. We gonna piece some things together, all right? You know, call this a dot connecting video, or, you know, you do your own research and come up with your own ideas, as long as it's in line with end time prophecy. So let's let this play.
Right now with that, just those two things. And currently, you've been having the most amount of people coming across the border come from Venezuela, come from communist countries.
Yep.
Communist countries. And these are all men of fighting age, 16 to 55. You know, they're coming in large groups. We had 3 people in our custody that had this weird fungus-like growth on them that they had to continuously amputate anywhere this fungal growth was. And the moment it got into the blood system, you're dead. The moment it got into your bone marrow, you're dead. But all
right, so did not the Lord speak of pestilences coming on this place in the end times? I mean, he did it to Egypt. Why would he not do it to the spiritual Egypt? Same worship, same issues, all that. I believe it goes into it in too far. Let me do Psalm 78. Where the Lord is trying to remind us, or our ancestors, like, you know what I'm saying? Basically, you know who I am. Actually, I remember it better in the NLT. I mean, in the KJV. One of these has, I think it's like around the 50th verse. Yes, this is it. This is it. Let's see. All right, and limited the Holy One of Israel. They were 42. They remembered not his hand, nor the day when he delivered them from the enemy. Right, and he's talking about Egypt, and he's like, y'all don't remember the great and terrible power that is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, so he's setting them in remembrance in this chapter. Okay, so 43, how he had wrought his signs in Egypt, his wonders in the field of Zoan, and he had turned their rivers into blood. Of course, going through the plagues. And the wonders, he said diverse flies among them, which devoured them, and frogs which destroyed them. He gave also their increase unto caterpillars, and their labor unto the locusts. He destroyed their vines with hail, and sycamore trees with frost. He gave up their cattle also to the hail, and their flock to the hot thunderbolts. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger and wrath and indignation and trouble by sending evil angels among them. He made way for his anger. He spared not the soul from death, but gave their life over to pestilence. And he smote all the firstborn in Egypt, and the chief of their strength in the tabernacle of Ham. Right, so there were pestilences sent. There have even been pestilences sent among us. You can read through the book of Kings. When David numbered the people, and the Lord said, look, either you can go fall into the hands of your enemy, or I'll send pestilences. In 3 days, that angel, they was whooping our ass. It was doing all kind of stuff, writing a rightful judgment, and the Lord had to stay the angel's hand. Right, so there's always been that type of judgment. Especially, and that's especially coming for this place. Let's go back to Isaiah 47. Not Jeremiah. Yeah. All right.
3 people died in our custody, I think within 24 hours.
Well, what the heck?
No idea. No idea. The dude from CDC was scared. All right. Tuberculosis. You know how many times I sat in a vehicle filled with people with tuberculosis?
Yeah,
All the time.
I'm sure.
You have people with polio, the vaccine resistant polio. All these things are coming back in to a infantile like system that is America, because we have removed many of these very harmful diseases through inoculations, be they good or be they bad, and now they're coming back. So now you have a whole generation or two of people who've never experienced stuff like this. And some of you thought COVID was bad. We had MERS, SARS, Marburg's disease, Ebola, the weird fungus stuff that came out of, I think it was the Colombian rainforest, and then, uh, polio, tuberculosis, the plague. We had people with the plague. And they all sit there in these waiting areas in Mexico, and it's just this big petri dish that's just mixing itself together with the nastiest stuff you never know. Oh, and by the way, somewhere in here, this is where and they're still around, the extremist jihadists are being inserted and then pushed forth into America.
Right. Make no mistake about it. Okay. So this is a part of it when the Lord says, well, we'll just get it, Isaiah 47, and starting at the top. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, right? Nobody's invaded these soils. Nobody's come here. Nobody's taken the fight to us. We have always gone, or Babylon has always gone and destroyed these other lands, pretty much brought down the infrastructure and destroyed the economy of these other lands. But this time the chickens are coming home to roost, and other nations will be here. All right. Of course, ultimately, this talks about the nuclear destruction, that lake of fire that is supposed to be here. But things have to lead up, and we are seeing how prophecy unfolds before your very eyes. How things lead up. All right. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate. Wait. Uh, let's just read. To take the millstone and the grind mill, uncover thy locks, and make bare the legs, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. And that is Yahweh Shai. All right. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, and the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. All right, so it says, I was wroth with my people, I polluted mine inheritance, and given them unto thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou heavily laid thy yoke, and thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever. So that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, and neither didst remember the latter end of it. Okay? So she'll no longer be a lady. This whole finna get ran through. And the crazy thing is, I frequent a lot between Texas and Arizona, and about 100 miles, no, not even that, maybe 70 miles um, south, maybe south of Tucson. Nah, I don't really know. It may be going I-10 east, but it's close to the border. They are dropping busloads of Venezuelans, Guatemalans. Those out of Central America. They're just dropping them off at random places and saying, "Here you go, fend for yourself." These people have nowhere to go. They don't know. Most of them don't know English. Nowhere to work. No sort of structure to get them on their feet to be functioning members. However, Biden and the bumbling Biden administration is looking at getting them reparations. They come here and they're just going to give them a bunch of money, right? So you have that civil war starting to brew, and then you have these people who have no loyalty to, like the average red-blooded American wouldn't do things that somebody that has come here fresh off of a bus, and they say, hey, you do this, you get to eat, you get to take care of your family, you we'll give you a job, right? We'll hire you on to the I to the R to the snake to the S, and you take these weapons, and when you go to these houses, you collect whatever you need to collect, right? So it's all kind of different ways this thing can happen, all kind of different avenues of approach. Either way, this is a textbook um, definition of an invasion. Texas has already declared it.
For every 18 wheeler that is filled to the gills with weed or, fentanyl or whatever, they'll gladly push that driver with that 18 wheeler right into Customs and Border Patrol checkpoints. And then drug dog sits on it, and then we all show up. Oh man, we're gonna take it over to Area 51 and start ripping this thing apart. And it's a good fun time, and it's a good training experience because these guys are creative where they hide stuff. And while you're so fixated on that, you never saw the truck 20 miles away driving right past the border, and no one ever knew what was in it, the bodies that were in it. You don't know if a nuke is in it. I'm telling you right now, you have no idea what's in warehouses right across the border that can come straight over to here, matter of hours, have a big distraction on one side of the sector, and then just push this thing on the other side, and no one will ever know. No one's ever the wiser. They would send.
And that's a tactic that our current government does, right? They make a big scene with the left hand, and they never show you what they're doing with the right hand, right? They'll show you one hand, look over here, look at all of this, while behind the scenes, much more nefarious activities are going on.
Hundreds of family units across the freeway for us to go and chase down, and we watched the cartel sit there and laugh. One day, me and two border patrol captains were sitting on the border at the sector right on the line, and this coyote is on the other side. He's in Juarez, and he goes, "Hey," smiles at us, and what do you think we're thinking? Man, if only he'd come over here. I'd love to get my hands on him. And he does this with his radio. And he said, "Are you guys ready for another crowd?" We could hear him on our radio. They got our comms.
Yeah.
Boom. That is an invasion.
They have heavy machine guns, medium machine guns, light machine guns. They have mortar systems, 60 millimeter mortar systems. They have rocket propelled grenade launchers. They have man pads that can shoot down a plane or a jet or any type of aircraft, helicopter from 10 to 20,000 feet. We know that.
Now, make no mistake about it. If the military was to get involved, right? We understand that although Babylon is waning, the military is still capable of great damage. The Marines, off the rip, I mean, you still have, and that is just a ground pound kind of thing, right? They will cut in, they will hit hard, they will attack with violence and fierceness and quickly. You have, man, there are so many different things to use at their disposal, but just for the sake of understanding, there's still going to be some issues at the border. There's still an invasion currently happening, and then we'll get one or two more TikToks because it's all going to tie together.
So that's sitting on our border. You have a literal army of insurgents on our border, operating all the time, a legitimate narco-terrorist state. And your government does nothing about it.
That's right.
But send $100 billion over to Ukraine to pick a war with a group of guys who keep telling us, and by the benevolence of God, we've not been nuked yet. But Putin keeps saying it. You keep coming over here, we're going to bring the fight to you.
And it's funny. He said, by the benevolence of God, hey, look, it just ain't time yet. What are the scriptures? Though it tarry, I forget. Habakkuk 2 and 3. I should know that. Uh, da, 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 da. We'll read it in the NLT. This vision is for a future time, and we are right here in it. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place, and it will not delay. And then we'll get it in, of course, the KJV. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not tarry. All right. So when the Lord finally says, or when he readies his archers and that those arrows shoot, and when the Lord says that, man, they get that. I just can't remember how to word it. Wet my glittering sword. How about that? I mean, yeah, but let's read that, Deuteronomy 32 and 41. If I wet my glittering sword and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies, and I will reward them that hate me. And of course, you can walk around outside and see the things that go on. You can open up any social media app that is and target things that are based right here in Babylon the Great, and you can see the pure, unadulterated hatred they have for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and his way. But how about 200,000? The archers bend the bow, shoot at her. Come on, man. I cannot think of the verbiage. Jeremiah. Okay, goodness. It's in Jeremiah. I just don't remember if it's 51 or 50. Dang, I done went too far down. Wait, I'm already in the New Testament. Oh, yeah. Declare ye among the nations. Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded. Murdoch is broken in pieces, her out is confounded. From the north come up the nations against her, which shall make her land desolate, none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast in those days. In that time, saith Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, and they and the children of Judah together, and weeping, and they shall go and seek the Lord. All right, because of course, and on the other hand, with this thing, to be on a separate note, you have a lot of the northern, more of the northern kingdom coming right up here of ground zero of the judgment, right? So either they coming for salvation or they coming for destruction. Let's see. All right, verse 9, for lo, I will raise up and cause to come up against the Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they that shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert. None shall return in vain, and the Chaldeans shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer as grass, right? You just settled on your leaves and you're proud and you think, I shall be a lady forever. All right. And the bellows is bulls, and your mother shall be sore, confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Let's see. All right, here we go. 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her. Spare no arrow, for she have sinned against Yahweh. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand, and her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her as she has done. Do unto her. Shit.
And we will win. And I do believe Putin.
Yeah.
I believe Putin more than I do Biden. I can tell you that. I could scare you.
All right.
Oh shit!
See that? So as they are in Ukraine encroaching and violating treaties, which they love to do, Russia and China said, all right, we'll play your game. And they're at the Mexican Independence Day parade.
As Mexico marked its 213th independence anniversary, the Russian troops were seen participating in the military parade there.
See, a little show of force, right? So let's end it on a chapter that sums up everything that we just saw. Second Ezra 16, we'll start at the top and I'll kind of jump around, but we're starting at the top, of course. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair, bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and whom may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Let's see. Verse 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? Mm. 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, and his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss. And when they begin to be shot in the ends of the world, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backwards. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. All right, you can plagues, pestilence, it's all wrapped in one. It's finna get wild. It's finna get, finna get real crazy. Shit finna hit the fan. It may unfold overnight, boom, or it may slowly and progressively get worse, but also seem fast at the same time. You never know. Our job is to continue to be under the vibration of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Read, learn, study, line up the scriptures with your life. Continue to watch, continue to be circumspect, and understand the times that you're in. So with that being said, Shalom.